Good morning, everyone. I hope you're doing well. It is the day after that crazy hailstorm that Calgary had, and I know the north got pummeled with hail really bad. It destroyed a lot of houses, a lot of cars. The Calgary airport, the roof caved in and it started flooding the airport, well, at least part of it. And it's just been really crazy weather lately, so I hope you're staying safe. I hope your home's safe. If it's not, my heart goes out to you. It's been a weird summer here in Calgary. It's been weird weather. It's been super hot last week, and then today it's very rainy and it's gloomy. It's supposed to be 18 this week. But anyway, I do have some notes here with me in the car. It's just a lot to discuss. I still get nervous when I'm on camera. I don't know why. I just do. But last week I discussed what to pack for hospital stays, surgeries, and procedures. I didn't really involve feeding tube patients. And as a feeding tube patient, I wanted to kind of go back and create another video that's how to survive a hospital stay as a feeding tube patient, because it is a bit different. So for this video in particular, I'm going to speak about enteral nutrition because that's the way that I eat. I personally have a feeding tube to-go bag ready for any hospital stay. And in this feeding tube supply bag, I always pack a week's worth of formula and supplies. If it's less than a week, then that's great and I'm home and happy. If it's more than a week, then I have a written list or a typed out list for my husband to grab for whenever he has free time after work to go and grab those things. Birds. Those crows are crazy. They fly around my house and then they pick on my cat. They'll like dive bomb him out of nowhere. And speaking of my cat, not to trail off on Titus, but he jumped in the UPS van today and he almost went for a ride. My husband had to go and grab him. So those of you who know Titus and know that he loves adventure, he almost went on another adventure this morning. So he is inside and locked up for today. So getting back to that, I have my feeding tube supply bag and this is what it looks like. As you can see, I have multiple of a lot of things, and I also pack the Calmoseptine lotion and the Q-tips because a lot of times nurses don't even know what that is. You may also want to add a medical packet with the following: your emergency contacts in the top left or right corner of the page, your method of eating, the name of your formula and the names of the accessories that go with it. Add the clinic and the program name who gives you the feeding tube supplies along with their address and phone number. Try to add the dietitian's name and the phone number as well. If you have multiple dietitians on call, just add the main number. You're going to want to add your diet. Go into detail about when you eat, how many cartons you consume, and at what rate, the formula you use, and any other information that you could give that would help. Also add what you can still eat or drink by mouth. Make sure the hospital gives you an opportunity to choose your meals if you can still enjoy a few bites of something, even if it's just soup broth and crackers. It gives you something to plan out and do during your hospital stay, and it's part of your routine. It also helps keep your mind busy. If you cannot eat by mouth, write NPO so that they know. You're going to want to add your doctors and specialist names, addresses, phone numbers, and fax numbers. Your medications and allergy food list. If you prefer medications go through your tube, be sure to include that as well. Your current medications and their doses, how often you take them, along with any vitamins or supplements you take. Your diagnosis and which doctor diagnosed you. If they're not already on the list, I would definitely add them, including their name and their phone number. A list of your past surgeries and procedures along with the date. So this might be the most important thing out of this entire video. Always assume that hospital staff do not know how to use a feeding tube pump. I have had multiple stays and surgeries and procedures and visits here in Canada and the US, and I have not come across a single nurse that knows how to use even the hospital pump. I have had to sit down with the hospital pump when I'm new, completely new to it, and teach them how to use their own pump. I look at it more as an opportunity, a free in service for hospital staff to get to learn feeding tube stuff, because it is not something that they come across every day. And a lot of people really don't know about feeding tube supply stuff or TPN or bolus feeding. So if you do have the opportunity to teach someone about it, I highly, highly encourage it, because you're not only helping yourself, you're helping them, which in return will help so many more people. Hopefully it will be a chain reaction. And just a fun side note, do you know why the NFIT adapter was created? The NFIT was created because healthcare workers did not know how to use enteral tube accessories correctly and have severely harmed and killed patients. So our entire system as feeding tube patients was recreated because of uneducated healthcare workers, because they were accidentally killing people. This is why education and awareness is so important. And it sucks that it has to be up to us to teach them, but someone has to do it. And even if you're not in the mood, say you're sick, you don't feel good, you're not up to teaching someone, make sure someone around you, whether it's a family member or a friend, knows how to properly handle your feeding tube, just in case. What if you go in for surgery and you're unconscious and you need someone? You really need a second pair of eyes, especially, nowadays in the hospital. It's just good to have backup, someone that knows how to properly take care of your supplies. Also, if you're a feeding tube patient, I know this system is still switching over. Some of my items are not NFIT as of this month and last month, and obviously when it first started. So I have had to contact my clinical team and tell them, like, hey, you sent me the wrong fit for this tube. I need this, this, and this. So I'm assuming that's going to be ongoing for a couple more months until they have everything completely 100% switched. Hopefully it gets sorted quicker than that, but it is what it is. It's just a shame that we have to go through this instead of the system teaching people how to do this. It takes 10 seconds. But it is what it is. Life goes on. Another thing that's going to save your mental health and your well-being is to make sure that you have clearance to get the heck off the unit when you want. I was at Foothills Hospital because I had GI issues, and basically I stopped tolerating my feeding tube formula, which was a huge problem because I started getting sick. I had a lot of other symptoms with it, including my postural hypotension, which they thought was an actual heart issue. It's not. It's a blood vessel issue. It's because of Ehlers-Danlos. But anyway, that's beside the point. So they put me in the cardiac unit instead of a GI floor. I don't even know if they have a GI floor. But anyway, my clinic's in the McCaig Tower, who supplies all of my formula. They're amazing, by the way. If you need their information, please send me an email and I will get that to you ASAP. But anyway, I was in the cardiac unit, not tolerating my formula. I was not allowed to leave the unit. Why was this such a problem? I was independent as I possibly could have been compared to other patients. I was able to get up and walk around and do my own thing, and they still would not let me leave the floor. I had new formula waiting for me at the McCaig Tower, where it always is in those carts. You know what I'm talking about if you get your formula there. It was waiting for me. It was within walking distance, and the cardiac unit would not let me leave to go and pick up my formula. Meanwhile, I'm getting more sick because I need nutrition. They could not get a hold of anyone because it was like the Friday evening. And so it was hard to get a hold of anyone. Nobody was in the office. Meanwhile, I could have just walked down there and picked it up myself. They made it a big deal. It led me into an anxiety attack. And ever since then, I have been getting anxiety attacks. I did not get them before until my stay at Foothills, when I was not allowed to leave the cardiac unit. I told my husband, actually, I was like, I don't care if I'm dying and I'm having a heart attack. I won't go back there, because they don't listen to me at all. I couldn't even get them to pay attention. I tried to show them how to use my feeding tube and how to use the hospital pump, and I couldn't get their attention long enough to show them how to use it. Starting from day one, make sure that you have clearance to walk off the floor, even if it's to go outside for 10-15 minutes for a breath of fresh air. It is great for your routine, your exercise, your mental, physical, emotional well-being. Try and get that clearance from day one. Please keep in mind that while weed is legal in Canada, it is not legal in hospitals, childcare facilities, or schools. I know a lot of people with GI conditions smoke, vape, eat weed to help with nausea, but just keep that in mind that it's not allowed in hospitals. One other thing to look for is the medical consent form. You're going to want to sign that if you're in the US, just so that you have your released medical records a lot sooner. It's a little bit more smoother when you're in the hospital. You can just ask for the form and sign it while you're there, because why not? And if you're in Canada, I believe this is also called the Consent to Disclose Health Information Form. If I am wrong, please write below what the medical release form in Canada is called. If it varies upon provinces, also write that below, just to get a better understanding and help people here in Canada. I'm still trying to learn the Canadian system, so if I'm ever wrong in any of my videos and it's regarding healthcare here in Alberta, please feel free to correct me. I want accurate information for people that are watching these videos to have, so that they can get the proper care that they need and that they very well deserve. And last but not least, always pack a water bottle and snacks. Hospitals in America used to provide some snacks, and they still do really great with water. They're really good with bringing water and those pink like jug things. Canada, I've only had one hospital stay here, and I told you some of it. Yeah, it's made me realize, just bring my own water bottle and take snacks. The snacks that I take are usually the Famous Amos chocolate chip cookies from Costco, because they're in those individual bags. I also like goldfish crackers, and any chocolate bars or sweets that I can pack are also helpful. But yeah, that's the end of this video. I hope it helped you in some way. I hope that if you're a family member, a caregiver, or a friend, it gave you a little bit more insight into what it's like to stay in a hospital with a feeding tube or bolus feed or TPN. If you like what you saw, please subscribe to my channel and send me a like. It would mean the world to me. And always know that you are, in the back of your mind, incurably awesome. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next week. Bye.